My name is Bob Brewer, and I'm running for district attorney. And I certainly appreciate this opportunity to address you tonight. Prior to going to law school, I served 4 years in the United States Army. I was an infantry officer. I served 13 months in Vietnam. I was in extensive combat. Received the Silver Star, 2 Bronze Stars, 2 Air Medals, and a variety of Vietnamese decorations. Came back from Vietnam and went to USD Law School, graduated in 1975. I wanted to be a prosecutor when I was in law school. Unfortunately, the San Diego District Attorney's Office was not hiring at that time, so I accepted a position as a deputy DA in Los Angeles County, where I served for 2.5 years and 35 jury trials to verdict. I was then hired as an assistant U.S. attorney across the street, and I prosecuted federal crimes for 4.5 years in Los Angeles. Had some terrific cases, had the privilege of representing the United States in a case against a real live, honest-to-goodness spy, a deeply embedded KGB spy who paid a senior scientist of the Hughes Aircraft Company, and through that payment received the precursor documents to what we now call the stealth bomber. I prosecuted Mr. Marian Zaharsky. We convicted him. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And 3 years later, he was traded for 23 of our spies. As a shameless advertisement for my website, that case was the subject of a 60 Minutes program. I spent 4 hours with Mike Wallace, which I would never recommend anybody do. And that is on my website under prosecutorial experience, that 60 Minutes, 20-minute episode of 60 Minutes. I want to be the district attorney because it's time for a change in the leadership of the district attorney's office. And I certainly am not the only one that feels that. In 2010, 4 years ago, 22 police agencies in this county voted unanimously not to endorse the present district attorney, even though she was running against no one. They were trying to send a message to her that you're too political. Here we are 4 years later, and 98% of those police agencies, through their associations, have endorsed me to be the district attorney. I will depoliticize that office when I'm the district attorney. The overwhelming law enforcement support that I have goes up and down the entire state because PORAC, the same organization that has endorsed Mr. Goslin for judge, has endorsed me for district attorney. I'm also endorsed by Duncan Hunter Sr. I'm also endorsed by 4 former United States attorneys. I'm also endorsed by, thank you. I look forward to answering the 2 questions, and I'm sorry that I'm out of time.
Get reminded how many minutes I have, I'm sorry. Is it
Yes.
3 minutes?
You have 3 minutes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you, perfect. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Terry Wyatt, and I'm running for a district attorney. I was a deputy district attorney in York County for nearly 27 years. I spent my entire legal career prosecuting serious cases. I'm a California native. My father was a California Highway Patrol officer. My mother was a registered nurse at County Hospital in San Bernardino. Public service was in my blood. I came to San Diego in 1983 to go to law school. I went to USD Law School, and I specifically went to law school to become a deputy district attorney. And that's what I spent my entire career doing. I've handed out a sheet of 19 prison inmates who are serving prison for life terms, for murder cases, rape cases, robbery cases, etc. I personally put these 19 inmates in prison, and they are all still in prison where they belong, for murder, rape, robbery, very serious cases. In my nearly 27 years as a deputy district attorney, I tried almost 90 jury trials, 58 of them serious felonies. I tried gang cases here in Vista. I worked 9 of my years up here in the Vista courthouse. I lived in Carlsbad for many years. And I tried career criminals, 2 years in career criminals, and I spent almost 6 years as a division chief in case issuing extraditions and the lifer hearing unit. overseeing prisoners who are in prison for life and making sure they stay in prison for life. So I've spent my entire career as a deputy district attorney and in public service. And I think it's important that public service be about that, about serving the public. I wanted to give everybody the opportunity to elect a career prosecutor, not a politician, because that's who I am. Serving as a deputy DA allowed me to utilize what I learned from both of my parents, to enforce the laws, to appreciate the laws, and also to help victims of very serious crimes to heal. I know some positive changes that we can make in the DA's office where we could do a little bit better. I want to create an elder abuse task force. We've only had one investigator assigned to elder abuse in this entire county. As we all get older, we become more vulnerable to crime. We're not doing as good a job with elder abuse. I want to protect our elders. I also want to take some of the resources that we use in trying to rehabilitate as a prosecution agency, parolees, prisoners who are adults who've been in and out of prison, turn that away from trying to rehabilitate state prisoners and use it on juveniles. We try to turn juveniles around when they're 12 years old, 13 years old, first committing crimes, so they don't end up on a list like this in prison for life. Again, my name's Terry Wyatt. I'd like to be your district attorney. Please elect a prosecutor, not a politician. Thank you.
Are we going to be answering both questions at the same time?
Yeah, my husband's got the.
Does he have any? 7 minutes. Okay, great.
Both questions?
Both questions.
Terrific. First question is, please tell us why you should vote for you. Why you should vote for me. You should vote for me. First reason you should vote for me is experience. I've been a lawyer for 39 years. I've been a prosecutor, and I've been a criminal defense attorney. I've been a civil plaintiff's attorney, and I've been a civil defense attorney. I've seen all sides of the courtroom. My two opponents have seen one side of the courtroom. My two opponents have never practiced civil law. Civil law is another aspect of law. It's talking to juries. It's doing what is necessary to be a fully experienced trial lawyer. I am a fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers. That is the greatest honor that a trial lawyer can ever receive. There are only 27 of us, approximately 27 of us, who are still practicing now in San Diego County. There are several judges who were fellows in the American College of Trial Lawyers. I was selected in 1998 to be a fellow in the American College of Trial Lawyers. This office, the district attorney's office, is a trial lawyer's office. I've tried over 100 cases to verdict, and these are civil cases and criminal cases. I've tried only 4 cases as a criminal defense attorney, but that experience gives me a great breadth of experience on the other side of the courtroom, not just the prosecution side. I will be a much better district attorney because of the wealth of experience that I have. Another reason you should vote for me is because of the overwhelming amount of law enforcement support that I have. Neither of my two opponents have been endorsed by any police officer association in this county. Think about that. I am law enforcement's choice. That's why you should vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm asking you to vote for the office of district attorney, and that's an office that prosecutes crimes and serious crimes. It's not an office that does civil trials, and it's not a criminal defense office. I have served my entire career, nearly 27 years, in the San Diego County District Attorney's Office. From the bottom all the way up, I've handled every type of prosecution. I am a criminal prosecutor. Mr. Brewer spent 31 years in our county representing some of the most notorious criminals. One of his major clients was Nancy Hoover, who with J. David Dominelli from 1979 to 1984, bilked thousands of victims in this community out of their entire retirement. They stole $84 million from people, and they lost their entire retirement. And Mr. Brewer represented Ms. Hoover for years, and in fact, she's still a personal friend of Mr. Brewer. She contributed the maximum amount to his campaign for district attorney. I don't think that's the mindset of the person I want for district attorney. I think you want someone who has prosecuted cases an entire career. I will make sure we follow the Constitution. I believe in every aspect of the Constitution, all of it, not just parts of it. I know that's important to all of you, it's important to me, and I've spent my entire career prosecuting criminals and following the Constitution. I will, in fact, take politics out of the DA's office. I will, in fact, be a career prosecutor. I have been a career prosecutor and not a politician. I do not have police association endorsements. Those are political organizations. I'm a Republican, and I didn't leave the party to run. Mr. Brewer did. That's a political move. He also has called press conferences with Donna Fry speaking on his behalf. That's a political move. I think, yes, the office has become too political under Bonnie Dumanis, that's true, but make no mistake, Mr. Brewer here is very political too. I am your only candidate to spend the entire time in public service, and I believe in public service to my core. That is the reason that you should vote for me. That's the reason I should be your next district attorney. I think that it is time for a change. I think we feel across this entire nation that we don't want to have people staying in these offices indefinitely as career politicians. The current DA has been in almost 12 years. I agree with Mr. Brewer when he says it's time for a change, but it's time for the right change. Elect a career prosecutor to this office, not someone who has defended criminal, some of the most notorious criminals in our community. Thank you very much.
The next question that I will answer is explain what will happen if we don't. And I think that means don't vote for me. I assume that's what it means. Yeah, okay. First of all, I do want to tell you, every single thing that Ms. Wyatt just said is completely known by every police agency and association in this county. And don't think for 1 second that she didn't try to get all the police association endorsements. She knows how important it is. She worked in this county as a deputy district attorney for 27 years. She continues to say that. But not one police officer association has endorsed her. I understand her frustration. I understand why she wants to attack me. I respect very much the 27 years that she has served as a deputy district attorney. Very, very much. But she's frustrated because none of the police officer associations that she worked with for 27 years have endorsed her. I understand that. And every single thing about Nancy Hoover or about all of my practice, don't think for 1 second that all the police officer associations know that. And they know the dedication and commitment that I will bring to this office. What will happen if you don't vote for me, and if the incumbent wins, is you will get 4 more years of an absolute politician as the district attorney. And why is that wrong, and why you shouldn't have that occur can be summarized in about 20 seconds. She ran for mayor 70 days after she was sworn into her 3rd term. She took an oath of office to be the district attorney, and 70 days later, she announced she didn't want the job. She ran for 17 months to be the mayor. She ran against Bob Filner. Bob Filner, as we know, won. 6 months after Bob Filner won, he was accused by 13 to 15 women of state crimes, sexual assault and sexual battery. Who should have been on the front line investigating Bob Filner? The district attorney. But who, because she ran against him for 17 months and because she endorsed Carl DeMaio, was completely disqualified from investigating Bob Filner? The district attorney. The entire office was recused from investigating the biggest criminal act allegedly in this county for at least the last 10 years. You can't let that happen. That is what politics does, and you can't have a politician as a district attorney. I will never endorse anyone for anything when I'm district attorney, and I will never run for another office. If you don't vote for me, you will end up with a politician in that office. It's time for a change. Law enforcement knows that, and that's why they have banned it behind me. I am law enforcement's choice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm not frustrated. I chose to run. I chose to retire early. I'm 54. Most people stay in the office till they're 60, and I chose to run against my own boss because I think the office is in fact too political. I don't think the district attorney should have been working as our district attorney. She was voted in to be the DA. There's 1,100 employees in this district attorney's office, over 300 lawyers, over 150 investigators, and 600 clerical staff. That's a full-time job. We prosecute the most serious cases up and down this entire county. In fact, I have prosecuted many of the most serious cases in this county for nearly 27 years. And I do think people are ready for a change. I just don't want to turn the office over to a criminal defense attorney. And Mr. Brewer has spent 31 years in this community defending notorious criminals. I don't think that's a good thing. I am your candidate that really isn't going to be political, because I have spent my entire career in public service doing this work. So I'm not frustrated about not having the police associations. Those are very political organizations, and I know that Mr. Brewer told them all that he planned to spend $1 million to become the district attorney. He has a lot of money, and that impressed them. So I'm not frustrated. I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. It's not easy to run against my own boss, but I retired because I don't think it was fair to her for me to run against her and work for her. I also don't think it's fair to any of your tax dollars for me to be getting paid as a deputy DA and running around running for office. I think that's wrong. I do have many endorsements that I'm very proud of, people that have known me. I have retired Judge Bill Draper, who's known me since 1985 and seen my work. Retired Judge Victor Ramirez, again, who's known my entire career, has seen me do lots of trials in his department. I have the former chair of the parole board, Robert Doyle, endorsing me. I have people that personally know and know my skills and know that I have a high level of ethics. Truth, justice, equal protection of the laws, integrity, and a high standard of ethics. Those are the values that you should demand from your district attorney. Those are the values that I will bring back to this office. Again, I'm Terry Wyatt. Would love your vote, would love your support. I'd like to be your district attorney. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up is Ernie Dronenberg. Ernie is running for, he's not running for judge, he's not running for district attorney. Come on. You want to tell him what you're running for?
Assessor Recorder Clerk.
And what exactly does the assessor recorder clerk do?
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for having me here tonight. And in the next 4 hours that they've allowed me to speak, he doesn't have the sign that says 3 hours and 55 minutes left. I don't know. Now, I want to thank you for having me here and giving me a chance to explain what I do. I assess over 1 million parcels. I record every legal trustee, grantee, and I issue birth certificates, death certificates, marriage licenses to all the people of the county. I'm elected. I haven't met a person that has said, oh, I don't live in your district, because I represent the whole county. And so I represent you, and I want your endorsement by re-electing me. So what have I done in the last 3.5 years that you've allowed me to represent you? Well, first of all, I came into an organization that was really dysfunctional. it was being run by intimidation and just meanness. And so I had some ideas of what I wanted to do, but the first thing you need to do when you're coming into an organization, you can't change an organization, put in new systems, put in new thinking without changing the culture. So I got all my people together. There's 415 of them, and I said, we're gonna have a meeting. All 415, and my staff said, can't do it. Somebody's gonna be at the counter. I said, okay, half in the morning, half in the afternoon. And I talked to them about, we're gonna change this culture to one of customer service. And it's gonna start from the top, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna best customer service. And we're gonna be efficient and save money. And so there were 2 offices that were closed when I walked in the door, closed to the public, but people were inside working. We reopened those 2 offices within 2 weeks with reorganization, no new staff. 2 offices, the Kearney Mesa and the Chula Vista offices were reopened, no new staff. We were working from 8 to 4. We're not even bankers, and we're working 8 to 4. I said, we're gonna be working 8 to 5, and we're gonna do it with no new staff and no new personnel. And so we opened to 5 o'clock every day. No new staff, no new personnel. I looked at the backlog in appeals and said, we gotta reduce that. It was just under 20,000 when I took over. Now, today, it's 6,700. That's how many appeals we received last year. That's because we got in and we worked on it, we analyzed it, and we got the appeals down. It's funny, if you don't answer somebody's appeal, at the end of the year, they'll file another one. But if you answer it, they're not gonna file another one. So, understanding that simple logic, we really focused on getting the appeals done. We got those down. They were taking close to 2 years. We now can handle one in 10 months. So we reduced them, we got them done faster, we made our offices more efficient, and we did it with people smiling and being friendly. So the last sum of what I did is to turn an office that was dysfunctional into one that is now 98% customer positive rating. Our customers have rated us 98% positive. Thank you very much. If I didn't persuade you with that, I'm not going to.
Well, as you know, our meetings are known for packing in about 10 pounds of material in a 5-pound bag. So we're going to try to keep on track.